Hey guys, Gathering the Magic back again, and it's Sunday. So you know what time that is? It means it's time for the Market Watch. Today is June 1st, 2025, and this week we're going to be going through land. So we're going to look at plot prices, totem prices, just kind of get an overview of what the market's done for the last 2 weeks. So starting off, the number of plots available for sale, as you can see here, this has kind of spiked in the last 2 weeks. You know, we usually are around 2,500, 2,550 different plots available on Peak Monsters. Currently, we're just under 2,700. So a lot of activity, a lot of players putting plots up for sale, trying to find plots in their specific resources. So it's good to see this number going up. To me, it just kind of means that more and more people are getting involved with land. Looking at plot prices, you can see here we had another increase in price over the last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago in game, the cheapest plot available was $55. Two of them were available at that price. Currently in game, the cheapest two plots are $65 a piece. And then over on Hive, they went from $64.67 2 weeks ago up to just above $70. So there is some movement in unclaimed land plot prices. Tracks and regions, not so much. You guys know this has been pretty standard for the last many months. The two tracks are still there for over 11,000 each, and the one region is available for sale for just under $89,000. Time crystals continue to hold right around that 7-cent mark. About 3 months ago, we saw the spike going from 3 cents to 7 cents, and it's kind of held there. Currently, it takes about 68.5 DEC for each time crystal. These can be used to build your buildings instantly, and in future iterations of land, you'll be able to use these to do maintenance and to level your buildings instantly. So these will be desired by players. If you haven't gotten them yet, it probably is a good time to start maybe dollar cost averaging in every week and just picking up a few time crystals here and there, just so you're ready for when the next stage of land is available in game. Totem fragments. So totem fragments kind of cooled off a little bit from 2 weeks ago. Common totem fragments were $1.65 a piece. Now they are $1.59. Still over 200 available. For your rares, they came down from 770 down to 725. Epics moved up a little bit from $38 per fragment up to $44.90. And then legendary totem fragments came down from 280 to 265. As far as complete totems go, common totems came down $1, so they were $16.99 2 weeks ago. Now they're $16.99. The rares had a big drop. They kind of spiked up to $108 2 weeks ago. I believe before that they were around $70, $73 a piece. We saw that big spike 2 weeks ago, and now they're back down to $50. So if you are looking for a complete totem, a rare totem, $50 is a pretty good price. Just looking at how they've been priced for the last several months. So good time to pick up a complete rare totem if that is something you're looking for. Epic totems, $350 2 weeks ago. Now they are $249. So once again, a nice dip in price there. And legendaries are still $1,000 a piece. For your totem claims, you can see here, really no movement at all from 2 weeks ago. Commons are still $16.99. Rares $73.50. Epics $375. And then 3 legendary totem claims for $1,725 a piece. All right, land barons. So if you wanted to come into the game today and just buy the 50 cheapest plots, how much would it cost? 2 weeks ago, it would have cost just under $900, so just under $18 a plot. Currently, if you bought the cheapest 50 plots, it would run you $817.49, or just over $16 a plot. All right, so cheapest, or before we get to cheapest natural plots, let's look at resources. So if you wanted to buy the cheapest grain producing plot in the game, 2 weeks ago it was $30 for the cheapest plot. Now there are a few under that. There's the cheapest one is $26. Wood plots, same as 2 weeks ago, $15 a piece for the cheapest. Stone moved up from $17 to $20, and then ore came down from $19 to $17. Okay, so now your cheapest 5 plots per rarity. So your commons 2 weeks ago, 15 to 17. Same range this week, $15 plots are available in regions 94 and 143. $16 for plots in regions 62 and 143. $16.50 for 3 forests. Those are also in region 143. $16.99 in region 118, once again for forests. And then finally for $17 you can pick up, there are 56 plots available in region 39. So region 39 has put a lot of plots up for sale. You're going to see that region a lot in this episode of the Market Watch. Okay, going on to rare natural plots. 2 weeks ago, $24 to $27.48. Currently, the cheapest one is just under $26 in region 115, and those are for canyons. Next up, in region 115, he has 8 more plots available for $27.48. And then in region 134, he has a badland available for $28, and then 2 forests available for $29 a piece. And then finally, in region 8, he has a mountain for $29.89, and those are your cheapest rare natural plots. Okay, moving on to epics. 2 weeks ago, the cheapest epic was $114. Currently, the cheapest one is $124.95, and those are available in regions 86, 133, and 141. $125 in region 39. 2 plots available, a badlands and a mountain. Region 49 has a plot, a lake, for $164. So if you're looking for a grain producing plot, there is an epic for $164. And then finally a badlands in region 97 for $174. And then your legendaries, these are the only 5 that are available on the marketplace. So these are your 5 cheapest. Region 60 has a plot for $825. Region 39 again has a plot for $850. Region 40 has a river, so grain producing, for $1,222. Swamp in 133 for $1,300. And then finally a desert in region 132 for $4,000. Okay, moving on to your magical plots. So 2 weeks ago, 38 to 50 bucks was the range. Currently about the same. $37 are your cheapest plots, available in region 7. Regions 39 has a nice variety, and then region 98. So if you're looking to kind of consolidate all of your plots in one region, you haven't gotten into land yet, at least going by this week, region 39 would be a good place to start. Next cheapest is in region 85. He's still, I believe at one point he had like over 70 plots available. He's down to 30, so he still has 30 various magical plots available for $38 a piece. Region 44 has a life plot for $40, and then region 8 has a life magical plot for $49. Okay, moving on to the rares. So you can see here the rares kind of bumped up in price from 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, the cheapest was $57 to $80 was the range. Currently, the cheapest, there are 2 $70 plots, a death plot in 115, and an earth plot in 143. Next up, there are 2 death plots in region 39 for $80 apiece. Region 44 and 79 have plots available for $85. And then region 71 has a death magical plot for $89. Okay, moving to epics. So your epics were $320 to $500 2 weeks ago. Currently the cheapest in region 39. He has a death badlands and a fire badlands for $270 apiece. Region 102 has an earth forest for $275. 117 has a life jungle for $288. Region 9 has death badlands for $350. And then region 28 has an earth forest for $360. And then your legendary magical, last month or so, it's been very, very sparse. Once again, the only legendary magical plots available are in region 85. And same as 2 weeks ago, he has 1 earth and 3 water plots available. So the legendaries are just not to be found for sale. Okay, let's move on to the occupied plots. So your common occupied were 72 to 84 2 weeks ago. The cheap entry this week is in region 98. He has a desert for $69, followed by the $72 swamp in region 143, a plains in region 46. So I also like to point out that you can use this not only for occupied, but you can also use this for grain producing. So I like pointing out plots that you can use for multiple purposes. Tundra available in region 60 for $75, and then a jungle in region 69 for $79. Okay, so your rare occupied. 2 weeks ago, 108 to 115 was the range. This week, the cheapest are $110 in regions 42, 143, and 110. In region 134, there's a plot for 111.69. Region 81 has 2 occupied plots for $115 apiece. And then finally, region 125 has a desert for $123.69. Moving on to epics. So once again, as you get to the higher rarities, these become more and more scarce, and there's just not many on the marketplace. So for epic occupied, there's only 3 available. Region 91 has a lake for $700. Region 5 has a swamp for $1,100. And region 26 has a tundra for $1,250. And then the most rare plot, the legendary occupied, there are 4 for sale. Region 80 has one for $1,695. Region 109 has a legendary for $2,000. Region 53 has one for $3,000. And then finally, region 29 has a legendary occupied for $3,900. Okay, moving on to keeps. So last time the cheapest keep was just under $1,000. The cheapest currently is $1,400, and once again there's that region 39. So he does have 1 keep, and it is a Badland. Region 44 has a desert keep for $1,475. Region 50 has a jungle for $1,499. Region 85 still has 2 of his 9 keeps for sale. Hills and a tundra for $1,500 apiece. And then finally, region 50 has another keep for $1,666. Okay, castles. So 2 weeks ago, there was only 1 castle for sale, and that was in Ravenwood in 133. This week, there's a new entry. It is in region 65, and he is selling his castle for $6,999. And the Ravenwood castle is still there for $8,450. And then finally for trade swaps. So if you're looking to trade DEC for resources in game, how much would you get for each DEC? So the grain is pretty much the same. Every DEC you spend will get you 102 grain. Every DEC will get you 2.78 iron, up from 2.2 2 weeks ago. Stone, you'll get about 5.5 stone per DEC. And then finally wood, you'll get just over 28 wood for every DEC. And there you have it, guys. That is the Land Market Watch for June 1st, 2025. So not a whole lot of movement in prices for like legendaries and magical plots and that type of thing. Just very, very low liquidity. So if you're looking on picking up some of those higher end epic and legendary plots, there's just not very many to choose from, and they will cost you a lot. But as far as the lower rarity plots, there are still quite a few available, and there are some players that are listing plots in new regions. So the big entry this week was for region 39, is a new region for picking up plots in the Market Watch. So hope you guys enjoyed. This upcoming weekend will be the card Market Watch. So once again, the part 1, we're just going to go through the numbers. We'll go through all the different assets, pack prices, and all that. And then part 2, we'll do the deep dive into all the different cards and all the different foil varieties. So stay tuned for that. So as always, guys, stay the course, keep on forging, have fun, have fun, and I will see you soon in the next video. Take care.